Hello, socialite. White tie is the most formal dress code in Western fashion. It represents the pinnacle of elegance and decorum. Today it is typically reserved for the most prestigious events. These events include state dinners, royal galas, and formal balls. White tie harkens back to a bygone era, a time when elegance and attention to detail were highly prized. The evolution of white tie is a fascinating journey. It began with elaborate and extravagant styles. Over time, it transitioned into the more streamlined and formal attire we know today. This transformation reflects broader cultural shifts, including changes in social hierarchies, attitudes towards luxury, and the very definition of masculinity. This lesson will delve into the captivating history of the white tie dress code. We will explore its origins and the key figures who shaped its development. We will also provide a detailed guide to both men's and women's attire for white tie events. Lastly, we will examine its current usage and cultural significance in the 21st century. The late 18th century was a time of great upheaval in Europe. The French Revolution, in particular, had a profound impact on fashion. The extravagant styles favored by the aristocracy were suddenly out of step with the times. Simplicity and restraint became the new order of the day. Before the revolution, men's attire was a riot of color and embellishment. Velvet coats, silk breeches, and elaborate lace cuffs were de rigueur. Wigs were powdered and faces were rouged. This ostentatious display of wealth was seen as a symbol of the aristocracy's power and privilege. However, the French Revolution changed everything. The revolutionaries rejected the extravagance of the old regime. They embraced a simpler, more egalitarian style. This new aesthetic was reflected in the clothing of the day. Gone were the silks and satins, replaced by plain wool and cotton. The elaborate wigs and makeup were also abandoned in favor of natural hair and a more natural look. This shift towards simplicity and restraint had a lasting impact on men's fashion. It paved the way for the development of the modern suit, which would become the standard form of dress for men in the Western world. The transition from the elaborate styles of the 18th century to the more refined formality of the 19th century was not immediate. It was a gradual process influenced by a number of factors. One of the most significant of these was the emergence of a new type of gentleman, epitomized by the legendary Beau Brummel. George Brian Beau Brummel was a British dandy and a close friend of the Prince Regent, later King George IV. He is credited with revolutionizing men's fashion in the early 19th century. Brummel rejected the prevailing fashion for ostentatious clothing and excessive accessories. He championed a simpler, more elegant style that emphasized fit fabric and meticulous grooming. Brummel believed that true elegance lay in understatement. He favored well-cut, dark-colored coats and trousers. His shirts were always impeccably starched and his cravats flawlessly tied. He eschewed bright colors, excessive jewelry, and heavy perfumes, preferring instead a clean and understated look. Brummel's influence on men's fashion was profound. He set a new standard for sartorial elegance. This standard was emulated by gentlemen across Europe and America. His emphasis on simplicity, fit, and quality over extravagance and ostentation laid the foundation for the modern white tie dress code.